I just wanted to do a video about drama and about creating drama because it's something that's come up a lot, not just for me on my journey, but obviously I speak to a lot of people that are going through a soul connection, twin flame type experience. And obviously I end up listening to a lot of drama and cycles of drama. Now, people often say you're attracting a lot of drama, and people are like, no, things has happened to me. Well, I mean, this is my opinion on this anyway, is I believe we do attract the drama because we really can only attract what we are. So by engaging in the drama, we're just keeping it going, really. So if somebody comes to you and they have this massive dramatic story, then a lot of the test is how will you engage with that story. A lot of us, we like to engage in the whole victim thing. So there's all different kind of power things that go on at play when someone comes to you in a dramatic way. There's the one of wanting to be right and wanting to prove your point, and you can sort of almost open the communication of the drama with, oh, well, you can do this and you should do this, and kind of trying to tell somebody what to do to get out of their drama. And that can become a cycle in itself. So somebody constantly coming with the same drama, someone constantly saying, well, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. Which, I mean, I think it's great to give advice to those people that are open to advice. You know, if somebody, sometimes it's quite hard to see your own situation when you're in it, and it's almost like having somebody look from the outside, somebody who's on a similar path and is aware of the ego and consciousness, like sometimes to have their feedback and their opinion and their point of view on your situation is quite useful. Obviously, in the end, it's you that has to listen to you. You create your experience, and only you can really know what's going on and your own guidance. But sometimes, you know, it is useful to have an outsider give an opinion on your situation. But as soon as it becomes this kind of blame thing, then you're really lost, because as soon as, what generally happens is somebody wants to go down the route of, oh, I can't believe this is happening to me, and this person's doing this to me, and this person's such a loser, and I'm trying not to use rude words here. And then what will happen is someone else will engage and say, yeah, I can't believe they did that. And, you know, then it becomes a bit of a hating men situation, or a hating women, or a hating somebody, or a hating this type of person, rather than actually taking responsibility for your own creation and your own experience. Because that's when you step out of the drama, is when you take responsibility for the experience that you are creating. And if someone's not willing to hear that, if they, like, if someone comes to you and they ask, you know, what's your thoughts on this situation, what's happening, and you give them opinion from an outside perspective, then sometimes you can help them realize things. You know, it's more triggering a realization in them rather than you telling them what to do. So you can maybe offer a perspective for them to go away and think on. But once you either tell someone what to do, that's you wanting to kind of prove you're right, prove that you have a higher insight, prove that you're maybe better than them, prove that you know more. And we've all done that. We've all thought that we know the answers to stuff. So we've gone in there and we've wanted to help people. So we've said, yeah, you know, you need to do this and this and this. And then the drama cycle just continues, because they'll keep coming back to you and you'll keep telling them this, and they'll keep arguing with you and saying, but he's this. And, you know, it's very draining energy to be around. And it's so much lighter not to be able to engage. But as soon as you engage, that's really when you're just a part of the drama, and you are attracting the drama, and you are creating the drama yourself. Because once you no longer have the need to engage with the ego conversation, that's when you're healed. And if you are engaging in it, then you're just in your ego as well. So you're just having this ego battle, and that's what really drama is. And you're going to get very drained very quickly with somebody else's drama, but really it's your own drama, because you're choosing to engage in it with your ego as well. So the real way to step away from drama is to balance within, because the duality you experience without is all the duality you have within. So actually, if you balance within, then that experience will fade away anyway. But from a more external way is just simply not to engage with it. Obviously, you can understand where somebody's coming from. You can understand their point because you've probably experienced it yourself. Like, we've all been involved in drama. We've all had dramatic cycles. We've all blamed, and we can all kind of understand, and we can say we understand somebody. If they're willing to hear, we can even, I believe, offer an outside perspective that they can then go away and see if that triggers something within them. I mean, I know that I like it when people do that for me. You know, sometimes I get lost in my own stuff. I can't see myself from the outside. Someone will offer me a perspective and I might not be ready to hear it right then, but then I might come back to it later and think, actually, do you know what, they had a point? And then I'll delve a little bit deeper and I'll realize a few more things about myself. So it's sort of triggering that memory rather than it's them just engaging in my ego with their ego. So that's the way to avoid those dramatic cycles that just drain you, because that person is just looking for someone to help them to feel like a victim. And when you help them feel like a victim, then you're in your ego. So you've got these two people sort of enabling people to be a victim. And it's a very dramatic cycle, because really, once you take full responsibility and you stop blaming, then there is no drama. There is simply, you know, the higher perspective and the higher realization of what you're creating. And there might still be a trigger or something that you need to work through, a realization that you need to work through, and maybe somebody can help trigger that in you. But there can only be this dramatic cycle really from a role of victim. So that's why we end up getting a lot of people talk like about different groups of people. So you might get girls, this is a really good example, talking about guys. Someone will blame, and then someone else will jump on the blame bandwagon, and before you know it, you've got a circle of people all enabling each other to feel blame. I know recently I had a really positive experience. Things were going really amazing in my life, and I suddenly noticed that a lot of people didn't engage with me anymore. They didn't want to communicate with me anymore. And I realized at that point that it was because I was no longer willing to engage in the sort of the blame, the victimization, because I wasn't feeling that well myself. So I couldn't engage in that anymore. And so they found it difficult to engage with me. So they didn't want to, and they wanted to move on and find other people that they could engage with and be a victim with. And that was a real eye-opening experience for me, because when that happened, it made me reassess myself. It made me reassess like people around me. And it just made me see things a lot differently. So the way to really create a new cycle with all that is, sure, you can understand where people are coming from. You can maybe offer a little bit of support and understanding. You can even maybe show them another perspective if they're willing and open to see that. And then really it's just about, you know, not helping them engage in their victim and engaging in your victim, because that's going to keep the cycle going. So this is something that really came up big for me recently, because there's been so much going on and a lot of triggering that it's really, you know, sometimes when you engage, you get very drained and you're like, oh, this wasn't even my problem. Why am I so exhausted? Why am I drained? Well, it's because you used your ego. If you're drained, you engaged in your ego, either to prove that you were right, to prove that you had like a higher intelligence, to prove that you could tell somebody what to do, or because you could identify with the victimization and keep it going. So if you really want to step away from the drama, just take away the blame and join in on the victimization, and see things will really shift for you. That's just something that I really felt like I wanted to add a video on today, because I feel there's so many triggers going on, and there's been a lot of a lot of that stuff come up. So if you do have it in your experience, try doing those things and see if things are a little bit different.